Hi Stampers, this is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations. Welcome to our live streaming class where we're going to make a couple Christmas cards using the Trimming the Tree bundle. And I'm using this bundle because it comes with dies only for the month of September. And with those dies, we're able to create some much more fun cards. And so we're going to be working with this one today, which is kind of an easel fold stand-up display card. And then I've got a fun fold of a flip, which is going to flip up this way. And then this pushes through the hole and opens that way. So fun cards today. We are doing two because they are so simple and they're going to go quickly. So I didn't want to be off the air before you all found me, right? So we're going to get going. Welcome to everyone checking in. I appreciate you being here. If you are on a replay, please type in hashtag replay. If you're here live, please type in hashtag prize patrol because that's what's going to get you entered into the chance to win today's card. So I'm just clearing off my desk here so we can find the right pieces. I had them cut out and set aside. I have done all the paper cutting. I haven't done the die cutting yet. So say a little prayer that my skill with the die cutting machine works today. Welcome, North Carolina. That's fun. Hi, Gloria. Hi, Kay. Okay, so this is today's card. This is the flip that we're doing, which I just had. And that's going to be this one here. And we're going to make it out of an evening evergreen card base. So this is 4 1/4 by 11. So it's the same cut in half, scored in half, just goes the other direction. And then we're going to score it in different spots. So we're going to score this one at 2 1/4 and 6 3/4. And that's when it's going to give us the different fold. So still the same size of a base, just different score lines. And then because of the different score lines, our DSP is a little different. We're still going 1/4 inch smaller. So this one is going to be 4 by 2. And then this one is a 4 by 4. And so that one's 4 by 4. There's a little bit of a gap here so that this doesn't interfere. So the inside one is going to be 4 inches by 4 1/4. So it is just a little bit different. If you wanted the tutorial for this in written format, I do have that done. It would come with all 6 cards that I made for this week. We only are doing 4 of them on the lives, but you would get a total of 6 tutorials, and at least 3 of them are fun folds. So that's a great deal if you wanted to head over to my blog to find that. Before we do the little punch out here, I'm going to put the designer series paper on first so that it goes through not just the card base, but the DSP as well. And I don't have to find out where that goes. Oop, this one's running a little low. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stick that right on here. And then I'm going to grab the Label Me Lovely punch. And you could probably do this with any shape. This just happened to be the one I pulled out. And then I'm going to push it all the way in. And one of the things I liked about this is, look, it marks the halfway. So I knew exactly where I wanted to put my score line. So I'm going to put the score line right on those little bumps and then just punch it out. And then I wanted to take that same punch and I'm going to punch it out of another color. So I'm going to grab my thing of scraps. Card base. Okay, let's see. So is this one. Darn. I'm trying to be smart about how I use my scraps. But here we go. Okay, so this one's good. And then I want a very vanilla piece. This one I used basic white. This time I'm using very vanilla. It's just going to be a slight difference. I couldn't decide which one I liked better, so we're going to try them both. Let's see, I think I want them to hang this direction. And then we'll do the inside. Now I don't need to worry about the divot out of here because this is going to cover that up. So we won't see that little cut on the back side. And then I'm just grabbing some very vanilla to cut out this shape right here. And this is part of this awesome set of dies that goes with this stamp set. And again, this is part of the Perfect Partners promotion that's going on right now. It's only for the month of September, and it includes the tree trimming bundle. You can get the 10% off, or you can just purchase the dies. They have one for the Yeti to Party Waterfall Canyon, which I'm using next week. Playful Piggies that I used last week. The, oops, that's a different one. The Apple Blossoms that I used the week prior, and then our fresh cut stems. So 6 different bundles that the dies are a limited release. So, oh, on vacation in Tahoe. I love Tahoe. That's where my husband and I got engaged, or went for our engagement photos. This deal, just because I showed it, I'm going to point out that World Card Making Day is coming October 1st. And so Stampin' Up! Is doing a several-hour thing online, and they're going to be working with these 3 bundles. And so you have the option to purchase this new bundle now. These 2 are currently in our catalog. This 3rd one is something that's going to be in our catalog in January, but you can purchase that early as an early release. Let's see. So I need this die. See, I love that this just kind of matches into this perfectly. I mean, it's not perfect, but they go together really well. I was excited how well they kind of matched up. Okay. So here is our mini cut and emboss machine. And here are our mini plates. It's the same idea that you get 1, 2, and 2. And then they're just going to, now normally I would be able to hold on to the top and feed it through. And for some reason, I have a terrible time doing it at this angle. Don't know why. Just to make me look stupid, I'm sure. Okay, so there's that one. And I'm going to set this aside because we're going to need that again. Not for this card, but for an upcoming card. And then I want to stamp on this because I'm going to have to adhere these to it, but I want to do the stamping first in case I have any issues. I can flip it over and do it on the other side. So let me grab our stamp set. And I had just used these scallops and the Happy Holidays. I line them up on the grid paper and then pick up with the block. So hopefully that's straight. And let's see, Evening Evergreen ink, I think. So let's go ahead and grab that one. Oh, it did well. Now this one, I have the little ornaments on there, which you can totally do. I'm not going to do on camera because it takes a little more, because there are these solid ones that you would cut the yellow out of. And then this one is the detail that would be the evening evergreen. And you can either use these matching, I guess that's not one of them, these matching little shapes, or I just fussy cut them. It seems simpler to me. I did use the outline when I did a solid ornament on this one. So we will be using those in a bit, but not yet. Oh, and then I wanted happy holidays. Let me shove that in the middle. Okay. When I did this one, I did punch it out. But it's really not going to make much difference if it had the yellow or the ivory under there or not, because it's not going to show. So if you did adhere this to the inside before you cut that hole, it still works. And then, let's see. This is going to adhere onto this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the card. I'm going to put adhesive just on this part because I want it to pop up and fit directly into that hole. And then I've got this one. We're going to do Sending Christmas Cheer. And this I'm going to do in Soft Succulent. Hey, another one from North Carolina. And I see a couple of my regulars missing. How about you guys? Do you spot who's missing? Have you kind of been paying attention to the friends that join us online for these things? I encourage you to get to know one another because stamping friends are the best friends, right? And there's no better place to do that than inside my group. So you want to be over on Facebook in the Realm of Creativity. That's the group I have for my customers. Who are all super friendly. Okay, now we're down to the tree. And this one, I'm going to stamp on a scrap. Pull out our die stamps, and then very vanilla. And this should fit. Yeah, that's going to fit in our 3 inches. Because the mini die cutting machine only takes 3 inches. But this will fit just fine. I'm going to stamp the base in Soft Succulent. And then we're going to stamp over it for the detail in Evening Evergreen. This is going to give us a little bit of a two-tone. Yes, Jan, I did. Thank you so much. That will go out in the mail very soon. That's why I mentioned that when doing the Prize Patrol redemption, you have to type in the whole URL because there is not a link off my blog at this point. So there's the detail. I don't know if you can see, but there's a darker green into the holes. Just gives it a little bit of an accent. And I went over this one with gold embossing powder. And again, the embossing is very loud. I don't know if you want me to do that. Maybe I could mute the microphone. But I used Versamark ink. And then there is a specific stamp that does those little dots. So this is our kind of garland that goes on the tree. Oh, hi, Janet. There's one of our regulars. I knew she was traveling, but there's two more specifically I know I haven't seen yet. Maybe they'll catch us on replay. For the embossing, we now have our embossing buddy back. That was something we had and disappeared, and we all complained, and it came back. And what that does is it puts just a little bit of powder on the front of the cardstock, which stops static so that the embossing powder does not stick where we don't want it. We use this Versamark ink because it is sticky. So we're going to ink this up, and then we're going to stamp it on the tree. And then we now have this nifty little tray that we can use to pour over. And then you can funnel it back into the container, or you can use this down here to pour it back in. And then there's this little brush that you can use to come in and take off any embossing powder that's in little spots where it shouldn't be. I'm doing it at a funny angle. I got extras. Okay. So that's a little better. And then we have these fabulous reverse tweezers that will hold the paper while we heat emboss with the tool. Alrighty, so there is our trim. And you might have noticed I heat embossed from both sides, and that was on purpose, because the reason paper warps is it's because it's an uneven either temperature difference when you're heat embossing or water, like liquid, when you're using, I want to say the water painters. The liquid being on one side and not the other affects the paper differently. So if you make it even on both sides, you have a better chance of it working out even. Now I'm going to take this large die out of our die set, and that's going to cut out our tree. Now this doesn't have the magnetic platform. So one of the things you can do is use washi tape, or you can stick a Post-it note over it, and the Post-it note would hold it in place. Like once you got it situated exactly where you wanted it. Then you stick the Post-it note over it to hold it in place. Oops. We're going to line up our plates. Come on. tell you, this angle is funny. Okay, so there is our tree. And then let's see, will this one fit? Yep, there's going to be our pot for the bottom. And here's a scrap for the star. Okay, so to put the tree on the front, I'm going to kind of put it where I want it, and then I'm going to make note of about how high on the tree or how low on the tree or direction you're going sticks to that piece. So that when I put this on here, there's no glue below. I don't want any glue down here because that would glue the card shut. And that's not what we want. I want the pot to be underneath, but there's not much room. So I'm going to put a little tiny line of the liquid glue and see how little I can get that to attach. Oops. Apparently there's glue on my finger. Straighten that out a little. And then we just need a little bit up here for the star. So there is our flip and fold card. So that's card 1. I use the same pack of designer series paper, just different prints. And then one is done in Very Vanilla and one in Whisper White. Card number 2 is going to be this one here. And it stands up for display. I love that about it. I love things that can stand up and kind of make an impact and can be shown, because people, when you send them handmade cards, they don't just, you know, toss them in a drawer. They like to look at them and know that somebody cared enough to send them something special. I mean, that's why I do this. It's not just because I love creating and I know you guys love creating, but it's the excitement on the other end when they get a card in the mail that you've spent the time creating with your own hands with them in mind, and even can customize it to them. It's wonderful. And there's so much negative in the world these days that every little bit of positive I can glean onto, I do. Speaking of sad news, anybody notice that the Queen died today? Wow, that was just shocking. And, you know, I guess I shouldn't be. She was 96, but she's done such wonderful things that she's led a life of service for sure. Okay, this one is, again, our 4 1/4 by 11 card base, but this time we're scoring it normal. We're going to put it right there in the middle at 5 1/2. And then this piece that's going to go on the front, this one is scored at the 5 1/4, and because it's 4 inches by 10 1/2, because basically we want the 4 by 5 1/4 twice. And then the second one's in half. So this one is at 7 7/8, which folds it in half to be our front. So it's kind of like 2 card bases 1/4 inch apart. And then this one's folded down. So our score is down at the bottom for this one. So to center this, I'm going to act like it's a normal layer, my 4 inch by 5 1/4, and I'm just going to align it on the front of the card. And then for right here, let's see this one. I'm going to go back here. So that's going to be our 3 3/4 by 5. So just again, 1/4 inch smaller. Center that one there. And then for down here, I swear I cut this. It's somewhere here. This is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. All right. It grew legs on me. So 3 3/4. And I said, what was that? 2 1/4. So that one will fit right here. It's like maybe it should have been 2 3/8. But we're still good. See, that's why you want the printed one. You want to go get my printed tutorial so that you get all these correct. Proofreading is done on that one, whereas not on my lives. All right, so see, we're almost there. Again, we're going to do our tree. So let's bring in some scrap. Okay, let's do this slightly different this time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this up in soft succulent, and then I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to come back here and stamp on my paper. So that gives us a lighter color. And then I can come in with my full strength on the detail and line that up. And there I get a two-toned tree using only one ink pad. So if you don't have two different greens, don't panic. Just do a second generation on one of them and then full strength on the next. Okay, let's see. Somewhere here I have my gold foil. So we're going to do a gold pot this time. So we'll die cut that one. And then we'll put a bow on the top. And we'll do some ornaments. Now I'm not doing it this time, but you may want to do this with adhesive sheet on the back because it would make them all self-stick, which is always a wonderful option because it takes off one more step. I don't know if you caught that, but I flipped the base piece because you want to do that with all of your die cutting plates, is flip them occasionally so that you're not always going the same direction with them, because that helps them not warp if you alternate. Come on, stay put. And then I usually have my kind of used plate on the bottom and a clean one on top. That helps as well. Gosh. I tell you, this angle throws me off. Okay, one of them shifted, but oh well. Okay, so here are our pieces. Oh, I need one more. I need the little rug. You may have seen my little rug on the last card we made. It was the label for the sentiment. Okay, I started to make a mess and lose my desk space. Go figure. This is the sentiment we used last week, or last Monday, last live, and we put the wording in here and then matted it on this one. But as I was looking at it, compared to the tree, it's like the perfect little rug for under the tree. See, that's what it looks like on the... So if you didn't catch Monday's live, go back and catch it to see how to make this card. Let's see, I need some red. See, look at that. I take the little cut and emboss machine off camera. It works perfect. Okay, now I need the tree die. Sorry, I gotta make sure it's my 3 inches so it fits on the plate. Gosh, look at that. Perfect. It's so silly. Why does it not like working on camera? Do you think it's camera shy? Stage fright. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Okay, So here is our tree. I've got a bow for the top. And I just folded the glue dot in half because it's a little too big for behind there. And then I have my pot and my ornaments on glue dots. I guess it wants to hang that way. Okay, so let's bring our card back in. The rug, the pot, and then I'm just going to do adhesive on the bottom of the tree. Again, we don't want to glue our card shut. And there we go. There's the front of our card. Now we just need to do the inside. For this one, I stamped the tree again on the sides. Bring in some scrap paper. And here's Evening Evergreen. There we go. There's Soft Succulent. Is anybody else like totally loving these in colors and hoping they don't go away? Once in a while, Stampin' Up! Does a color revamp. We're probably due. And they bring back some of the favorite in colors. And I sure would like this one to come back. Okay. How do you guys feel about color revamps? Are you ready for new colors or bummed that they're taking some away? Or maybe a mix of both, huh? I'm going to put some extra on this one. I didn't line that up right. All right. And there is a little stamp for the pot. I'll bring that in. Do that one in soft suede. Have yet another sentiment. This makes this a great stamp set that you have inside and outside sentiment and sentiments and images. It's just kind of a great mix. I'm also, if you notice, I'm going kind of around the pad. We have a tendency to always ink up in the center, and it will run out of ink in the middle faster than it will around the outside edge because we're always inking in the same spot. So I try to remember to kind of move my stamp around. Yeah, I think we are due for one. A color refresh, that is. Okay. Okay, so there we go. There's our inside. And again, I did the same thing. I did one in basic white, and I have one in very vanilla. This one's a second generation stamping. This is 2 different colors of ink. And I'm did the other card. I know I did. Oh, there it is. The flip and fold. So there's one and here's the other. So we have our basic white and we have our very vanilla. So make sure you have typed in hashtag prize patrol, because that's what's going to get you entered into possibly winning one of these cards that I would send off in the mail to you. If you're looking for printed directions, we have those as well. So you can hop on over to my store. Let's see. Screen share this for a second. Here we go. So in my store, if you were on the home page, let's see, let's make this bigger. Come on, move. Nope, doesn't want to do it. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Where did it go? There we go. It's bigger. That's what I wanted. Okay, so on my blog, if you were on the home page, I've changed around the menu some. I hope this is helpful to you. I tried to arrange it in kind of how to learn card making. You can browse photos, and if you browse the photos, if you click on one, it'll take you to the coordinating blog post. All of my YouTube videos are listed up here, and then there's written tutorials now. And so within the written tutorials are like the flip top wine box that we did a while back. Some of my other one, Merriest Moments, is still current. Several different ones. My Elf and Santa, that was really popular. That one even comes with video. And then today's projects were out of this Trimming the Tree bundle. And so by clicking on those, you can add it to a cart, check out with Apple Pay, PayPal, any of those things. So that's where you find those. Oh, you want to know next week's cards, don't you? Let me go over there for a second, and then we'll do Prize Patrol. Okay, let's see. Will it flip it around? No. Let's see. Let's remove this for a second. Okay. So next week, like I said, we're going to be playing around with that Waterfall Canyon. I started out a little frustrated, but I've since gotten some great cards out of it. So here are just some of them. Again, I have 6. I can't put my fingers on all of them, but there will be a tutorial for all of them. And then we're also going to be doing a live on 2. This is the faux easel card, which I have done before. Only this time we're using Waterfall Canyon. This is a new fold I have not done before. So this is going to be one of the lives. I don't know if it's going to be Monday or Thursday, but one of those. Here I was trying to recreate Shoshone Falls, which is something we have right here in Twin Falls. It's an actual waterfall. They call it the Niagara Falls of the West. And then this one of my customers was sharing with me that there was a waterfall in Oregon. I don't remember the name of it. I did see Mary was online. Maybe she will tell us. But she showed me a photo of that, and it was a really long waterfall. It was just gorgeous. And it was so long that aside from making a slimline card, it wasn't going to fit. So I found this fold online that does kind of a step. And then I extended the waterfall. And so I'll show you how I did this. The stamp is not actually that long. The stamp is, this is part of it. And then there's a top. Let's see. Do I have one? Yeah, this is the actual size of the waterfall stamp. And this portion I stamped again. So I stamped the bottom part. I stamped just the top part. And then I stamped the middle again in concession. So I'll have to show you that on camera. And I had made it this time where I had kind of cut the thing apart, and I didn't like that. And I didn't like the way the trees were not behind the waterfall. So this time I did it different, and I think I like this better. So, and we'll do some more adornment on the front. I was working on this right before I went live. So those will be coming up. Let's see. Move this one, add this one. And now we're ready for, oh, darn. I didn't hit start collecting comments. There we go. Thankfully, it went back and collected them. I have 8 entries and 8 people online. So let's see who wins. Bring my cursor over here and draw. Hey, somebody new. Congratulations, Carmen. You are today's winner. You will want to take note of this link. Pause your screen on a replay, and you'll want to copy this whole thing and type it into your address bar up here, and it will get you to a Google Forms where you would fill out your address for me so that I know where to mail your card to. And then just tell me which of the 2 cards I made today that you would like me to send you. So congratulations. If any of you have any questions or you want to take advantage of the sale that's going on with those fancy dies that are only available this month, or you just have any other questions in general, that's what I'm here for. Just pop me a note and I'd be happy to talk stamping with you. Thanks. Bye.